What's going on, everybody? It's Carmine from Barmine Tech, and today we're going to be actually doing a product review. So a couple weeks ago, Wavlink reached out to me to see if I wanted to work with one of their products, the AX6000 router. They wanted to see if I wanted to work with it and see what my thoughts are. So that's what we're doing today. Since this is a product review, I just want to put it out there that no money was transferred. Everything in this video is completely my thoughts, and nobody else is going to see this video before I publish it Friday morning when everybody else gets to see it at the same time on YouTube. So, like I said, everything in this video is my thoughts, and there's nothing in this video to sway me one way or another. I just want to put that disclaimer out there because it is a product review, and I don't want to mislead the audience about any products that I review on this channel. Enough of that little disclaimer. Let's get right into some of the products. I'm going to pull up the listing page for it so we can go through what it shows on the website, and then we'll actually look at the product and go from there. So like I said, we are working with the Wavlink AX6000. It's a Wi-Fi 6 router that offers dual band gaming router with 2.5 gigabit WAN port, 4 1 gig LAN ports, and it supports a everything mesh. It runs in router AP repeater mode, and it also supports OpenVPN, WireGuard, and parental controls, as well as QoS. Currently, the price sits at $142.49, and it looks like the original list price is $169.99. So at this time of the video, there is a discount available, lowering the price to $142. So I would go with that. The regular price is going to be $170 for this device unless something changes. Other than that, there is not much to show on the site. We'll just scroll down to the specs. It does have a 2.5 gig WAN port, so you do have a 2.5 gig connection to your ISP. I guess that only helps if you have a really high speed plan from your ISP. I know the typical consumer only has maybe a half a gig or a gig at most. Other than that, there is this push button system, so you could pair all the devices in the mesh together. I'll show you that when we look at the router. And then if we keep going, there's really not much else over here on this page. So that's fine. Just take a quick look over here at the overview on the website, and now we'll actually take a look at the device itself. So looking at the actual device, we have 8 antennas on here. So we have all down the side, in the back, and then on the opposite side over here. Over here are those buttons that I was talking about. We have a pair button, and then there's another button for the mesh. And then other than that, on the back, we have our 2.5 gigabit WAN port, our 4 1 gig LAN ports, a USB, and then we have the power and the power button. Other than that, in the packaging, we get the power adapter and a cat cable to connect it, I guess, to either to the LAN or the WAN for the ISP. The first thing I noticed when I opened up this box was I pulled out this data cable, and typically on the jackets of data cables, there's markings to indicate what it is. Typically, like, it'll say it's Cat 5, Cat 5e, whatever it might be. I figured since this router has a 2.5 gig WAN port, it would provide a Cat 6 cable, but unfortunately I am unable to verify that from this cable. So, I don't know. Also, the cable kind of feels a little chintzy. It's very thin, and I could feel all the cables through the jacket. It doesn't feel tight and how the jackets normally feel on a regular data cable that I get. So just one of the first things I noticed, that the Ethernet cable provided doesn't feel like it's the highest quality, and I can't verify the speeds that it's going to operate at. I could probably do some testing with it, but extra work that I have to do out of the box to see if I actually have the proper speed data cable. That's enough of that. I'm going to get this cabled up, and then we're going to start talking about the actual device and the software on it. While the router powers up, I also want to mention you get a little quick start guide that comes with the router, how to set it up and get it going. It indicates that you should be able to log into this router using the default IP of 192.168.20.1 or a website which would be http://wavelogin.link. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get either of these working on the first setup for this device. I figure, like any other networking device that I connect to my network, that I can connect it to a switch and then be able to hop over it from there. But unfortunately, since it seems how the IP was set and the DNS hostname, or how they have that hostname set, won't work if you have a regular network already running. So I had to try to connect it over Wi-Fi, which was a hassle. I then tried to connect it through my laptop, which didn't really work out the way I wanted to do, so I finally chose to connect it to my main workstation. But for some reason, with a USB adapter, I couldn't get both networks to work at the same time. I think that was user error on my side. I just didn't change the adapter settings on my PC. So I ended up having to remove my actual network from my PC to connect this router to it. From there, I was finally able to hit the router's management page after quite a few attempts. So it was a little tricky to get into the management, so I wasn't really thrilled about that. I would like it to be a lot simpler and straightforward, whether they use a common IP scheme or they leave it on DHCP, since most consumers are going to be using DHCP to connect to their public internet anyway. So enough of that, let's get into the actual router software and start talking about that. So we take a quick look over here at the router's management page. There's really not much to see compared to other software's UIs. I mean, it's nice it has some graphics. It gives you the information of your router, the Wi-Fi, the network, but other than that, there's really not too much to offer. You have control over here. You can adjust your Wi-Fi. And then over here you can see your network type, so this would be for your WAN, and then other than that we just have some more WAN options. For some reason, for connected clients, they show it as terminal. I really don't know why. This display over here of like the connected clients kind of reminds me of something like OpenWRT or pfSense or something along those lines, so I wonder if this software is kind of like forked off of there. Other than that, we have a more tab. This is where you're going to really get all of those main settings that you're probably going to want to configure. We have everything over here from our LAN setup to IPs. If we come over to wireless, we have our wireless configurable options. They have their mesh options, which unfortunately I only was sent one device, so I'm not able to really test out this mesh. But you are able to form a mesh network if you have multiple of these devices. They can pair together and offer a stronger, more robust network to your house. I did notice that there is a AdGuard home feature in this router, so you can enable it and have your own AdGuard home server running off of your router. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature because it's not something that I've really seen before, but I do believe that this is becoming something more common, that routers are offering some sort of DNS service inside of them. We have our typical port forwarding and DMZ, stuff like that for NAT. Some firewall options, so you can configure that. And then over here we do have a VPN. So this router does support VPN server and client modes. So if you have a VPN running from somewhere else and you want your client to be able to kind of form a tunnel in a sense, you can receive your OpenVPN config or your WireGuard config, and you can enable the client mode for each of these, drop in the config, and then from there you'll be able to form your VPN tunnel over to that other network. So whether you have maybe a VPN running from your office and you want to be able to connect back to it at home, you can be able to access your office network from your home network via this VPN tunnel. In return, you could also do it as an OpenVPN server or a WireGuard server. So let's say you want to be able to access computers inside your home network, outside of your home network, maybe you're on vacation or you're away on business. You can come over here and you can enable the WireGuard server. It's going to give you a config file, which then you could put on your laptop, your iPad, whatever device you might be using, and you'd be able to connect back to your home network to maybe, let's say, if you're on a server, like a print server, or maybe you have a NAS storing your documents on there. You could do it through there and be able to connect back and forth. It's nice to see so many different VPNs supported in here, but there's really not much else to do. And there's also Zero Tier, which I'm not really familiar of. I was looking into it, and it looks like some sort of freeware company, and they're making some sort of internet VLAN project out. But this router does support VPNs, whether you want to run it as a client or a server option, so you can do that on this router device. Other than that, we just have typical USB, so you can make like a FTP server or a print server off the router, and then you have your remote access to the router. And then we just have typical net tools, like if you want to do a diagnostic check or if you want to wake on LAN, and then just the basic system settings. One thing with the system settings is the time zone that I noticed while configuring it, and this one's just a small one, but there's no Eastern time. So like I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Typically when I set my time zone, there would be Eastern time, and the only option I get is Atlantic time. So I don't know if it's just, you know, how they wrote out their time zones, but that was an interesting one to me because typically I always see Eastern time. But other than that, that is pretty much all the configurables and everything that you really need to see as an overview. So that's really a brief overview of this router. Again, this is the Wavlink AX6000, and now that we've kind of given an overview of the software and what it has to offer, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, so let's get right into that now. So this router does have some pretty decent hardware in it. We have stuff like 2.5 gig WAN port, so you do have a nice uplink to your ISP. This is a nice feature, but most plans that people are using in their home aren't going to be hitting that speed at all. It's nice to have, but it's not something that's really needed, I feel, in a home network. Maybe one day we'll get to the point where the home internet plans are going to be that high. I guess we'll see, so maybe you're future-proofing in a sense. The device itself is pretty nice. It's well built. It has a nice plastic shell. It has 8 antennas, which were really beneficial when I was trying to test out the Wi-Fi range. I was able to walk around my entire house, and I wasn't able to lose service at all. I kept full connection to the Wi-Fi at all times, and I was probably about 40 feet away. Typically, my other router that I run in my house would start to drop off at that point. The software on this router is kind of where it starts to lose me a little bit. I feel that it's not as well developed as I'd like to see for a home router software. And it just kind of seems like it's forked together from another open source software that they kind of just changed a little bit and said, here, give me yours, I'm going to change it a little bit, and now it's mine. You know, it's kind of like I took your homework to borrow at school. This software offers a lot of features like the VPN, the QoS, the parental controls, the Wi-Fi control, everything else that you could do in there. But I just wish the UI was a little bit nicer and it kind of made more sense. Stuff like how the connected clients show as terminal, not just connected clients or like a network map, something like that. Simple stuff like that just kind of don't make sense to me. And I really wish that the UI would just be a little bit nicer, because I feel that this router is really capable. But as somebody who has worked with a bunch of home routers and other networking equipment, I just kind of feel like that's where it kind of loses me a little bit. The one thing that I really had an issue with this router was the setup. I know this could just be partially for my user error, but I saw some other videos where some other users like Craft Computing had similar issues when trying to get into the Wavlink devices. It's kind of complex. I mean, I shouldn't have to disconnect from my regular network to be able to connect to this device to be able to configure it. I feel like that's a little more than it should be. I feel like it should be a lot easier that I can plug it into my network, configure it, and get going. If I maybe don't have an extra device to work with that I can disconnect from, like using a laptop as it says in the instructions to connect to, or maybe, you know, I don't want to disconnect my PC from the network because I need to keep it connected for something, let's say. I wish I could see a better setup that I could just kind of plug it into my network, it'll come online, and I can configure it that way, and then swap my routers out when I want to. But that's just me kind of griping over the setup, but it was something that I wasn't really a big fan of. That's really everything about this router, and if I had to say if I would recommend it or not, I don't know if I would really recommend this router fully. For the price, I feel like there's better home routers out there that you can get that is going to have better software and hardware that's going to be more reasonable for your home use. So it's kind of mixed on it. Maybe there's a possibility you could flash something like OpenSense or OpenWRT onto this router. It might be a little bit better because it is pretty good hardware, but I don't really like the software as much. So I can't really say that I would recommend this router when I know that there are far better options out there. But that's really all I have to say about this Wavlink AX6000. If you guys are interested in checking out this router, I'll have a link to Wavlink's website as well as the Amazon listing where you can get this router yourself if you are interested in getting one. Other than that, I will have links to all the gear in my home lab below if you're interested in getting any of the gear that I run, as well as a Discord server that will be in there below if you want to join up. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.